in that final period when they were dealing with Deontay Wilder. They were just being outflanked and outmaneuvered.
There's a sales technique someone should have given Eddie during those negotiations. It's called fear of loss, where you take the offer away.
Yeah.
And he just
never used it.
Never. He just kept going with the ball like a beggar to Deontay Wilder, who's not the one with the money.
I was highly unimpressed with the way Hearn team, Hearn Matchroom handled that situation. They made themselves look like the B-side.
Yeah.
They made themselves look like the B-side, made themselves look weak. And in this situation, I'm glad to see that Eddie's found his balls. He's found his balls. I don't know. If, have you seen my video with Ruiz?
Ruiz's breath ball
with the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Jono?
No, I haven't yet. I have to go and have a look.
Go check out after this thing. Go check out one of my last videos with Andy Ruiz cupping the balls of a bull. Cupping the balls of a bull. It's a statue, I hasten to add. I don't think real bulls kind of tolerate that shizzle.
You'd be a very brave man to try that one.
You have to be a very brave man to cup the scrotum of a real bull.
Very brave man.
An alpha male bull. I'm glad that Eddie's found his balls. I was wondering how he got on the topic of balls. Yeah, I'm glad that Eddie's found his balls. And he's playing hardball with Ruiz. He's basically saying, because I don't believe he signed the bout agreement yet. He's basically saying, mate, this is how we're doing it. Boom. You've signed the contract. This is how it's going to go down. You said no to Cardiff. You said you wanted it on neutral ground. This is neutral ground. Boom. There you are. Jono.
Yep. It's got to happen, man. Otherwise, we're going to have a hell of a mess. So hopefully within a week or so, we can have it all signed, sealed, confirmed.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's hardball. I was going to do a video saying Eddie Hearn shows his pimp hand. I don't know how that would go down with YouTube. I'm sorely tempted. Eddie Hearn shows his pimp hand, even if I don't use that title. That's the way I feel about it. Eddie Hearn has raised his pimp hand to Ruiz. He said, "This pimp hand is strong, Ruiz."
Well, if he's liable for more than just the purses, and it really is $100 million he's liable for.
Yeah,
I think he'll sign.
I think he will sign. Eddie Hearn's doing it properly. He's just saying, listen, stop messing about. Listen, I don't have any problem with Eddie Hearn chucking him a cherry on top. I don't have any problem with Eddie Hearn saying, yeah, here's another mil, or here's another 2 mil. That's a bonus. That's between me and you. You don't have to tell how. That goes straight to your account. I don't have any problem with that. But you can't be dictated to once someone signed a contract. You can't have them coming back reneging on the contract, this, that, and the other. If he approaches Eddie politely and says, Eddie, listen, talks to him man to man politely and says, come on, Eddie, what can we do? What can we do to meet me? Just meet me part of the way, not even halfway. Just meet me part of the way. And Eddie goes, listen, between you and me, I'm going to throw you a cherry on top. Ruiz then says, well, how big's the cherry, Eddie? How big's the cherry? And he goes, well, let's just say you're going to need 2 big bags. Two big brown, Primark, 2 big brown Primark bags. You know those big brown Primark bags? And then Ruiz will say to Eddie, says, well, how many dollars can I fit in one of those bags, Eddie? And then Eddie says, well, mate, I reckon at least you can fit at least $1 million in one of those bags. And I'm going to give you 2. You can fit at least $1 million in one of them bags, and I can give you 2. But that's between me and you. That doesn't go to Al.
Okay. think you'll also have to be careful doing that though, because that'll set a precedent for other fighters to start doing the same thing down the line, eh?
Exactly. You can't go starting setting precedents of that nature.
I heard someone make a good point about that though. If it's a voluntary defence for a big money fight, who's gonna choose Noel Heyman the fighter after all these shenanigans?
Bloody hell.
Good point.
Look at the precedent they've set for themselves.
Well, imagine this is Andy Ruiz acting this way.
Is it?
Just imagine how Deontay Wilder would have acted after signing a contract. This is just little Andy Ruiz. He's been a champion for 2 months. 2 months.
Is it just Andy Ruiz though, or is it Al Heyman brainwashing him?
Listen, we all know
He wasn't like this before.
Listen,
Didn't have any money before though.
we all know when you
True
sign up.
that.
We all know when you sign up with PBC, you get the PBC handbook. You get the PBC handbook. Thou shalt not cavort with anyone outside of the PBC. Thou shalt not have relations with anyone outside of the PBC. Thou shalt not look at thy neighbor's wife if she is not with PBC.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's fighters.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's balls. Don't F around with anybody it's like the Moonies. Didn't you have a sect down there, down in your part of the world, the Moonies? The cult?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Moonies. It's like the Moonies. You don't mess around with anybody outside the cult, my friend. What is it? PBC? Premier Boxing Cult. Everybody thinks it's time for champions. That's where you've been fooled. You have been fooled. Premier Boxing Cult. And you don't marry, you don't fornicate, you don't cavort, you don't engage in any form of intimacy outside of the Premier Boxing Cult. And if you do, it is your duty and your obligation to make it hell for those who try to deal with you.
If AJ wins the belts back, I think the shoe's going to be on the other foot. I think Eddie's learned his lesson.
If AJ wins the belt back, you cannot, anybody who tries to deal with PBC ends up with a problem. Ross Clark in the building. Jono, anybody who tries to engage with the PBC ends up with an aneurysm.
Problems. Maybe it's Problems Boxing Cult.
Problem after you sign a contract. Now let's look at this from
Still
anyone,
problems.
and let's look at this from anyone trying to deal with these guys. You even get to the stage where you've signed a contract with one of these cult members, and that's just the start of your problems. It is utterly ridiculous, bizarre. It's madness. We've come to the end of the show. Final word, John Dealey.
3 weeks, we'll know what's going to happen.
In 3 weeks, we will be revealed, and the pertinence of 3 weeks, John, just remind the people.
That's when there's going to be the fighters at the press conference in Saudi, New York, and London. So Eddie's basically giving himself a deadline.
Yes. Final words, Jono.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to this mess being sorted out. Hopefully it comes long before 3 weeks away. I want to see the fight. I don't care where it is. It's a 20-foot squared circle anywhere on the planet, no matter where it is. So let's just get it done. And thanks for having me on, Rafi. And everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up so you don't miss any future content.
Absolutely. Thanks. Big Boys Boxing got his own channel. Go and check him out. He knows his stuff. and John Daly, our resident boxing mad man. He loves it. He's got a bit of knowledge to back it. And so we got Ross Clark, Toby Bailey. Toby Bailey? Did you change your name, Toby Bartlett?
You've been listening to Cat Punch Boxing. He called him Tony Ballet the other day.
Toby Bartlett, Ross Clark, John Dealey, Ped. Who else we got? We got many, many more. We had Lisa. What was that girl's name? Lisa earlier on. We got Benno Cadman. Hit that subscribe button, Benno Cadman. I've never seen your name before. And many, many
It's
more.
Lisa Bayliss, Rafi.
Lisa Bayliss. Make sure you come again. There you are. I see your name. Heinrich Smits Cass, the celebrity troll. Always likes to pop by. And of course, folks, don't forget there's a donate button if you enjoy the content and you'd like to chip in for further equipment. My intended trips to boxing events, which will be filmed, feel free to throw a little couple of coppers in the.
Give him a target for Saudi, Rafi.
Give him a target for Saudi. Okay, we got a target for Saudi. Chuck you, remortgage your houses, feel free. Okay, it's Raphael Dawkins, joined by Big Boys Boxing, John Daly, and the chat. It was a late one. It was an impromptu one. We're trying out StreetYard as well as other methods of communication. This was Ruiz versus Joshua 2. The water is as clear as mud, or should I say sand. There is sand in the water. We don't know what's going on. Hopefully, within a few weeks' time, all will be clear. Ruiz is holding up proceedings, digging his heels in. I wish he would desist. You signed a contract, my good friend. In most parts of the world, when a contract is binding, honor the contract. Speak to Eddie personally, politely, and he may throw you a cherry on top. But don't be too entitled, bro. You got 5 million, you got 9 million to come, win the fight again, and the world is your oyster. It's Raphael Dawkins, Scumbag Radio, and we are out. How do I end this thing? I've forgotten this thing. How do I end it? We could be here all night.
We're stuck.
We're stuck. Help. Water. Yes, end the broadcast.